We are pregnant! Alright, so it's 9th of September and it's also supposed to be my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. But that's not important today. We just shared a very special news, probably the most special news of this year, on our blog and also on Instagram and Facebook and all social media. And we have also decided to create this vlog and share more about this journey with you. The reason why I'm creating this vlog, although I'm not that regular on YouTube and I don't have many followers also, but I also thought that this is not for the followers, this is not for the readers. This is going to be documented for our unborn child. So it's important for us, even if only one person is going to watch this video and that one person is going to be our future child, that's okay, because we are doing this for him or her. So before we start, we would like to share how we are feeling, and then we will be handling a few questions that we have created ourselves that you might have for us. So yeah, Babu, how do you feel?
Let's start. I think I'm all waiting to share how we are feeling, what we want to say, all of these. I mean, it's so important to share all of these great feelings outside of the two of us. So I think that's why we had been waiting for this day to finally arrive, when we can actually share it with our friends, families and followers, that how we are feeling. And there you go.
Yeah,
so we have got a list of questions. Let's have a...
Yeah, and we just finished our first trimester in the last week, sorry. And then this week is my birthday. Then we both decided, okay, let's just choose 9th September as the date for the announcement. And it worked out really well for us so far. I mean, the kind of response we have seen on Facebook, Instagram and on the blog.
God, we're just so happy. We are still yet to respond to each and everybody.
And we will do that, so just stay tuned. But it's so overwhelming. I mean, honestly, I knew it's a great news, but then I also know that every couple has a child. Almost every couple has a child. There are millions of women are pregnant at the very same time probably, and they're giving birth in each minute or every hour. So it's not such a big deal for other people to know that just another couple is having a baby, so what's the big deal? But I was really surprised to see the response. So many of you who are with me on my Facebook and Instagram for the last 3 to 4 years, and from time to time you do like my pictures, or you just share your thoughts in the comment section, but many of you stay silent, and even those of you have actually replied to this post and have shared your comments and congratulated us, wished me on my birthday. I'm really overwhelmed, and we are actually very happy. Of course, we were happy before also, but we are also happy with the current status where we are now.
Let's take a few
questions. As I have just come up with 10 questions, we'll try to address each one of them one by one, and we'll try to address probably one each, this way. So the first question, probably all of you will have, that how far we are at the pregnancy. So as I just shared, that we've just entered into the 4th month. Here in the UK, they count I think in many countries they count by weeks. So we're on the 14th week currently. And the second one, Babu, do you want to take it?
So the second question we have is, was it planned? So obviously, I think it's a very common question, a normal question. It's a very private question as well, but yes, we're happy to talk about that it was, like many other things in our lives, it was indeed planned.
Like most of the things in our lives, like we always try to make a plan for everything that we do. Of course, sometimes it doesn't work, but this has to work because it's such a big decision of your life. There is going to be a new life in our life, and it's a permanent thing. It's not a nephew or niece that you cuddle for 2 hours and you give them back to your sister or your brother. So it has to be planned. And I
mean, of course, as those of you who know us us who had been following us know that we had been married for more than 10 years now. We had been knowing each other even for 8 years even before that. And unlike many other couples, we had, of course, our plans for traveling, plans for our career, and we had a plan that how we wanted our marriage to work first, and we focused on that first to enjoy our own companionship, focus on our travel and career, etc. We did not just have a children just because we were married, or we were bored with each other and we don't have any plans, so let's have a children. Absolutely not. So we had a very specific plan that we really want to do it, and we are ready, and we will welcome it with a very well thought plan as much as we can do. But yeah, everything was planned to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, and also one more thing I would like to add here is that we live a very independent life here in the UK. In fact, even as individuals, we are very independent by nature. I have been living away from my parents since I was 17. Shehzad was living away from his parents since he was 20. So we have learned how to do things on our own from a very early age. And for the last 10 years or so, we are not only financially independent, we are independent in every regards, because we do everything on our own. We don't have any support, and I don't shy away from sharing this with you, that we are on our own on this journey, and we have been on our own since we got married. So for us, having a child is a lot of responsibility. It's a responsibility for all parents, and as a couple, we always had this understanding that until I am physically or mentally ready, or just ready to invest all my time and energy to bring up a new life, we are not going to venture into this journey. So we delayed, we took our time, and it was a conscious decision that we made, and we are happy that we did that, and we are also happy what we are doing now. So the next question is, are you excited or nervous?
I would say it's both. It cannot be either or. You're definitely excited. You're very happy. You're looking forward to a lot of unknowns and the experiences. But at the same time, there is no denying of the fact that you are nervous as well, because it's the first time, and you know a few things and you don't know a few things. So I think it's a mixed bag. So I would say that we are excited and nervous at the same time, and I think many more other emotions along with being excited and nervous.
Yeah. I'm very excited, of course, because as I said earlier, that it was a planned decision, and I wanted, this, if I have to be honest, that this is my number one priority for this year, for my life goals, so, and I'm glad that I could do it, I don't mind sharing that I know so many people, so many couples struggle for pregnancy, but we have been lucky and fortunate that when we wanted to have a child, we tried for the first month, it didn't work out. On the second month I could conceive, so I am extremely grateful, and my heart is just full of gratitude that we are so lucky that we could do that. I have just looked after myself. I'm healthy and fit, and we both have managed to do that just on the second attempt. So I'm also very grateful. So of course I'm very excited, but I also know that the struggle, the side effects of having another life into ours, because we have been also very selfish of living our life only with each other. There is not a third person in this house ever in the last 10 years. So the nervousness that I have is all about the delivery. I'm also grateful that I don't have any complications as far as my pregnancy is concerned so far, but I don't know what will happen during delivery, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. Yeah, you have your fear and all these unknown things that come into your mind, but that's one thing I'm nervous about, the delivery, and the second thing I'm nervous about is who's going to change the diaper. I'm a person who doesn't look at her own shit, so I'm really, really scared who's going to change the diaper. I think Shehzad will do. Shehzad is fantastic. Shehzad has been such a great support in the last 3.5 months. He has always been, And I always maintain this, that he has been the best boyfriend. He was not so good as a husband, but I think as a to-be father, the way he's looking after me, although I don't need much looking after, but he's been so supportive in the last 3.5 months. I have to say, I mean, you need a man like him in your life when you are pregnant. Every woman needs it. You know, I don't have much problem, but still he will give me a fit massage every night so that I can sleep well. I mean, I don't know, I'm getting so emotional because he has been fantastic.
I think let's go to the next question. My hormones are playing up now. I don't want to cry now.
Okay, the next one is, what is the change that you saw after becoming pregnant? In your relationship or otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I think what do you expect between ourselves? It's definitely love, respect, friendship, etc. And I think it continued anyway. So I won't say that just because we are pregnant now and suddenly there is a sudden rush of all love that we never felt between us for a long time. It's not like that. Mm-hmm. Rather, we are actually able to see the relationship that we had in a very different light now. And that's exactly what we're enjoying. So the relationship, the emotions are completely in a different taste. So it was nothing that something was absent and suddenly something has come back. It's not like that. Something already existed, it just got enhanced. So that's how what I'm feeling about the relationship that we have. Mm-hmm. And what else has changed otherwise? Well, I think maybe during your first trimester, a few sleepless nights, a few irregular
I still have
appetite.
a few sleepless nights even in this way, but biologically lot has changed. Of course, my body shape has changed. I had food aversion in the first trimester, and now I'm fine. For the last 2 weeks I'm back to my normal eating habit, so that's one issue. Second thing is, of course, as a woman I feel fantastic not to have periods, which was a big deal in my life. No period pain, no period for the next 6 months now, so that is amazing. Second thing is, my body shape has changed with new clothes and new undergarments. Third thing is, I used to have little gaps in my teeth whenever I have a meal. I used to go and brush my teeth and have flossing, but now there are no gaps. So I think it's the hormone which is doing it. I'm not having much hair fall. In fact, my hair is looking better than before. So yeah, these are the things. I think
my appetite has grown tremendously, that I feel
That's true though.
I feel like eating all the time. I feel like eating.
He is eating more.
I'm
eating for one person.
And spicy food, and my appetite has grown so big because of the hormones that I have. So yeah, that's my main change.
That's true though. He's not joking. I mean, well, you are not supposed to eat for two. That's the fact. You are not supposed to eat for two, although you are pregnant. You're only having 200 calories extra in your last trimester, not now. So I'm just eating not like the way I was eating before. Like the portions are the same. I'm just eating probably more frequently in a smaller portion. But this man, he's eating more and he's not going to the gym. I don't know why. He's skipping gym. He's like going to one, like previously he used to go to 4 times a week.
No, now that we're in the second trimester now, I'm safe to go to the gym.
But who stopped you to go to gym in the first trimester?
I was just trying to sympathize with whatever you're going through.
I'm not sick. You don't have to sympathize with me.
So
I'm pregnant. There's a difference.
I want to feel the same feelings that you felt.
Morning sickness?
That's why.
Oh, wow. You don't want to feel the same, darling, let me tell you. So let's go to the next question. How do you plan to take on this new journey? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit related to whatever we had been saying, that since it's a planned thing, so there is not any element of surprise, so we are having enough time to prepare. And we are not expecting any major impact or change in the things that we used to do before anyway, such as traveling or eating out, dressing well, and just taking photos, what you always do of making, capturing moments. Everything will continue with this additional responsibility,
and maybe a bit, the pace would be a bit slower.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I see at the moment for the first 1 year or 2 years of the baby. that the pace would be a little slower, but I will continue. I will try to continue doing all the things that I have been doing so far, because I don't see a child is going to stop our life, living our life.
No, that's not the way it should be.
Yeah, so that's not how we would also plan to do. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, because we have a child, we can't go on a dinner date. We'll work it out. What are your first gifts to your unborn child? So this is very interesting, and I'm excited to share this with you, because this is something I thought about it and I shared with Shehzad, and he agreed, and we came up with this idea that I've always believed that we as a couple, urban working couple who are on our own, who have got no rich parents or any family support, whether it's financial or otherwise, we can't offer our child, big cars, big houses, diamonds and things like that. We don't need those items in our lives in any way. All we can offer to our child is a lot of love, care, affection, values, principles, good education, and give them a habit to read. So what I wanted to do is to buy a book and dedicate that book to our unborn child for every month of these 9 months of the pregnancy. So since we're into the 4th month, we already have 4 books to share with you. So I'm gonna start first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So how we have planned is that the first month is going to be a book from me, 2nd month is going to be a book from Shehzad, 3rd month again book from the mother, 4th month like this way. You got it, right? So the first month, the book I have picked for our unborn child is The God Delusion. This is the most popular book on atheism, and this is what you can expect from an atheist mother. This is a book by Richard Dawkins, and the book is called The God Delusion. So that's the first book, and what I have written inside for our baby is, as we have shared in the blog post, that we are going to call this baby bump Shona. Shona doesn't have a meaning. Shona is a pet name, Bengali. It's like, the words that you have in English, like dear, darling. Shona is basically a similar.
It also means, say, for example, in Bengali, it do mean gold.
Gold, but then this name that we have kept for the bump is not the metal, gold, but
something precious.
It's just a pet name, or that you use. So the message that I've written for this book is to Shona: all thinking human beings are atheists. If something can be asserted without evidence, it can be dismissed without evidence. Love, Ma. So that's what I have written. So this is the first book from me. Now it's Shehzad's turn.
Yeah, I have got one of the books here called Money. So obviously, you could imagine that why something coming from me. It's by Rob Moore. It's called Money. Know more, make more, and give more. So that's the book that I wanted to give. And the whole dedication is, I think it's along the lines that it's important, having money in this world to survive. But I think from our perspective, it's more important to make beautiful memories and experiences. And if you have money, it's easier to maybe have those beautiful experiences and moments, but it's not essential. Money is not essential.
It's not everything, it's essential.
It's essential, but it's not everything. Rather, the child should focus more on creating memories and value time, which is more valuable than money. However, once you take care of your time, money will come your way anyway. So that's my dedication with this book.
Okay. And for the 3rd month, the dedication I have is the Anna Frank Diary. I think this is a fantastic book, my all-time favorite book, and the message that I have written is to Shona: those who write are natural dreamers, conscious dreamers. Love, Ma. I hope he or she becomes a good writer like the daddy. So yeah, that's my dedication for the 3rd month. And it's your turn now.
And yeah, I really like, of course, psychology and human behavior, etc. So the next book that I have in the dedication is called this, The Methods of Persuasion by Nick Kolenda. And I think the dedication is along the lines that, of course, a book on persuasion is not going to perhaps help us to persuade the child to eat on
not
time,
to cry in the plane.
not to cry, sleep on time,
Listen to us. Don't go to late night parties. Yeah.
So this book is not going to persuade him or her, but I think once the child grows up, you need some skills to influence the people around you, to the people in your school and your work, and whenever that child will be on its own. So I think that child will need to know how to deal with these people, and not all the fingers of your hand are of the same size. So I'm sure this book will help the child to know how to deal with humans. Not the parents exactly, but maybe with other people that they will deal with.
Alright, so those are the 4 books we have so far, because we're in the 4th month, and we will share in our second trimester video all other books that we are going to dedicate to him or her. So the next question we have here is, do you know the gender? What do you want? No, we don't know the gender yet. As I said, we are only 14 weeks pregnant. Here in the UK, you only come to know about the gender when you are 22 weeks, 20 or 22 weeks
week
pregnant.
20, yeah.
Yeah. So once we come to know, we'll definitely share with you. We will share everything with you. What do we want? Honestly, if you asked me this question before I conceive, my answer would have been a girl. But now, since the conception, I think my psychology changed. I'm now going to say, and it's an honest answer, that I'm happy whatever the gender it is, because my parenting skill or my parenting technique or method is going to be the same irrespective of the gender of the child. So I'm happy, and since it's my first child, maybe it's going to be my only child, I don't know, but I'm happy. I really don't mind whether it's a boy or a girl at this stage, because there is not going to be any difference in terms of my parenting skill. I'm going to bring up my boy child or a girl child exactly the same way. So, but Shehzad has a different answer.
No, as you said, I did have a preference that, a girl would be really nice. But again, as Tanushree was saying, that the more days are going by, you just realize that as long as the child is healthy,
yes,
doesn't matter
important.
if it's a boy or girl, they're going to be equally loved, they're going to be raised equally with equal attention and affection. And in the end of the day, they should grow up to be very fine human beings first, and
most
then
important.
Being a boy or a girl is secondary. So I think, although I had a preference for a girl, and I would be really happy if it is one, but even if it is not, and if it's a boy, I would be equally happy.
If it's a boy, he's going to hate you too when he will watch this video.
Yeah, as I said, that changed, and now, as I said, even if it's a boy, it's going to be equally joyful, if not more. I just want everything to be healthy.
I just want the baby to be healthy and to grow up to be a good human being, a nice human being. The gender doesn't matter if you know how to guide them.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. Okay, so the next one is, have you decided on the name? No, because we don't know the gender yet. But yes, of course, we do have a few names, maybe a couple of names, not few, because I don't want too many choices anyways. I always knew what I want. So I have a couple of names for both male and female, and we also know that what we are going to name our child in terms of the last name. Our child is not going to have a family name like the traditional one, like the father's name, or it's a combination of father's and mother's last name. It's not going to be that. Our child is going to have a last name that is a combination of both of our first name. So in this case, his name is Shehzad, and my name is Tanushree. So we are going to have the last name as Shetanu, which is the first 3 or 4 letters of Shehzad's name and the first 4 letters of my name. So that's going to be the last name of our child. The first name we will only be able to tell you once we know the gender. Why didn't you share it as soon as you come to know? Or is there a reason to share it now?
So, yes, there are definitely some key reasons that we decided to share this amazing news today. And the first one is, of course, today is 9th of September 2018, and it happens to be Tanusri's birthday. So it's just a fantastic thing to coincide the announcement of this great news with the would-be mother's birthday itself. So we were waiting for this day to coincide the announcement with Tanusri's birthday. And I think the second thing is that we are just in the early days of the second trimester, and as they say that the first trimester is supposedly the risky
secret trimester.
The secret trimester. It's a bit risky, and you just take things easy. So we had to take care of all these various changes and emotions all ourselves. So
it was difficult because it's actually a lonely phase because you are not able to share with anyone. So even if you have like those nausea and morning sickness, you would like to share it with someone who has gone through the same, and then take advice or tips or just even just talk to them. But we couldn't, or we didn't rather. So it was difficult. It was very lonely because it was only two of us who knew it. So it was difficult the first 3 months, definitely, not sharing with anyone else. But that's how I wanted it to be. There is no reason that... the only reason I thought that, okay, let's just take these 3 months as it, comes. And then once we know that it's a reality, it's confirmed now. Of course, things can go wrong at any stage, but we can only be hopeful from now on. So that's why we thought that it's best to share once we complete the first trimester. So that's how it is. And the next question is, this is the last question, by the way, thankfully, because this video is already very long and I don't want to bore you. Will you stop traveling now, as we didn't see you traveling for the last few months? Good point.
Well, I think I would actually ask another question back to that. We are not going to stop eating, we're not going to stop sleeping. So I think traveling is just as important to us as eating and traveling.
There will be sleep
Well, yeah, there will be some sleep deprivation. Well, that is true.
Yeah.
But I think it's nothing that we never addressed traveling as a luxury. It's
our lifestyle.
Yes, it was always considered
we
as...
never thought it's a vacation. I mean, I hear most of the time people say, oh, good luck for your next vacation. How was your vacation? I also came back from a vacation. And people who are very close to me, I tell them that it's not a vacation, it's my lifestyle. But, people who don't, I'm not very, I don't keep in touch on a regular basis. I just don't feel like, having that energy and answering them that, look, this is not a vacation. I go and see a new place like 4 or 5 times or more if I can afford a year. And so it's our lifestyle. And no, we are not. Yes, of course, you are right that you didn't see us traveling this summer. We always travel. Last summer we were in 4 countries. Around
this time we were in Budapest
on my birthday. So we will not, but since I conceived in the middle of the summer in June, and as I said, it's a new experience. I wasn't having much difficulty though. I have never vomited, or I wasn't going through. I mean, I didn't have to take any medication or anything. It was comparatively easier first trimester, but I'm also a person who never gets sick, so for me those the hours of morning sickness or nausea was too much to handle, and I wanted to take it easy, and I thought let's just take it easy for these 3 months, and then once we get into the second trimester we'll travel again somewhere closer, although it's probably best to avoid long haul flights at this stage, so we can always take the short haul flight and go to somewhere in the Europe. Which is why we didn't travel in the summer. We always do travel during the summer. And also on my birthdays or on his birthday, we missed both the birthdays this year.
Yeah.
However, we were, as we entered the second trimester last week, we had a plan to go somewhere in Europe on my birthday today. We should have been in south of France today. We had a flight last night, which we had to miss because my passport is not with me. It has gone for renewal and it hasn't come back yet. So we were expecting it will come back in time before our flight. It didn't. So we had to just let it go. We will travel again in the next 2 weeks when my passport comes back. We will again try to go somewhere in Europe. The only problem is, we have visited almost all the major countries in Europe. We have visited 21 European countries already. So if we have to go somewhere now, because we have to take short-haul flights, has to be a country where we have visited before. But yes, there are some countries where we have visited, but we haven't been to all the major places that you should visit, like France or Italy. There are so many places we haven't seen in France or Italy yet, but we have been to those countries before. So our plan was to, my plan was always, like when I become pregnant, I will go to visit south of France or some places in Italy like Positano or Venice. So yeah, we will try to go to those places in the next month or so before, you know, the winter starts. So yeah, we won't stop traveling, and we already know where we are going for my birthday or his birthday next year as soon as the baby comes. So yeah, we will probably take it a bit slow. When I say slow, that means when we travel, our schedules are quite hectic.
Yeah.
Like we leave early in the morning, like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, sometimes earlier. I mean, wake up early and go 6 o'clock. We do an outfit shoot because most of the time the major touristy places are empty because, you know, people haven't woken up yet, and I also wanted a good light, so we sometimes wake up early and do an outfit shoot at 6:30 in the morning, and we come back to hotel 9:30, 10 o'clock sometimes after dinner, and the whole day we are out, you know, exploring places, you know, eating, enjoying. So I think with the baby it will not be the same. We might have to take a break during the day, or a couple of breaks. We might have to pause when the baby needs to nap or eat. So the pace might be a bit slower, but we will not stop traveling. Nothing can stop us from traveling. That's our lifeline.
Yeah,
we connected with each other because of the travel, and nothing can stop us.
If you also read on the blog today, and we are going to paste the link just
down
here below, and you will see that this edition of the baby is not something we are treating as completely remote. It's just an extension
of our lives.
So whatever we had been doing, we are not expecting anything to stop all of a sudden just because we have a baby. I mean, having children, it's supposed to enrich your life or enhance your lives. It's not supposed to make you stop doing something that you loved doing before.
Of course.
So it's not what we are thinking. So we are thinking that whatever we were doing, it might be done in a slower fashion, but it will nevertheless be done.
Yeah.
So that is why we are hoping that we always treated ourselves as travelers, as voyagers, and we love to go to places, experience new things. And this edition will be a new passenger in our journey of life. That's all. So it's that is how we are looking at it.
Also, one thing I want to mention, you know, whenever we were traveling before, we had this strategy that you know, some of the developed countries we haven't been yet, like Australia, New Zealand, you know, Canada, and we thought when the baby is very small and prone to germs and infections, it will be better for us to visit those countries and not visiting developing countries like, you know, traveling to Asia or Africa or South America. So that is how we also designed our travel plan. And then once the baby will grow a little bit, like 4 or 5 years, then we can go back to, like, you know, exploring countries in Asia, Africa or South America again, because those are our favorite continents. South America is our most favorite continent, right, to travel to. So, and we also want our children to see everything, not just living in London and just seeing Europe and going to the rich countries. No, we want them to explore the way we explored. In the initial years, we can always go and see these countries that we haven't seen so far, which are supposedly richer countries with, you know, better facilities in the cities and all. So yeah, that's what it is. So thank you very much for listening to us for so long video. Maybe this is going to be more than half an hour, 1 hour video, I don't know. And I'm really grateful, and my heart is full of gratitude today. All the congratulatory messages that you have sent for us for this biggest news that we have shared today.
Yeah.
So do you want to share
again,
anything?
I mean, thank you very much, and we are extremely feeling very happy and very light-hearted now as well that it's
sharing all these things.
It's out of our heart now. It's with you, and all of these blessings and best wishes that we are getting. It's making us feel very light, very excited. so in the coming weeks we will try to be more regular with our video updates, with our vlogs, and
we'll try to document everything.
if you join us in this new journey that we have embarked upon, it will be, I think,
we
fantastic.
are not experts, we are just learning as we go along, but we would love to share this with you.
Exactly.
And also most importantly, we would love to document this for our unborn child, who is gonna see this when he or she grows older, and will know that how much we desired to have him or her in our life, and how much joy and happiness it brought to our life. Not that we were not happy, we didn't have joy or happiness before, we did, but this is a different kind of happiness and joy, and we are equally excited for this new journey. So thank you once again.
Thank you, and if you have any questions, comments, more advice for us now, what to do, etc.,
feedback,
please leave some comments below, and
also this is our first video together.
Yeah.
First sit down video together, so if you have any advice, and we don't have a professional setup, I'm sorry about that. We just put the camera here, and we have a microphone there. There's no light, it's just the light that's coming through the window, so it's very, very raw and unprofessional setup, but it doesn't matter. I think the content matters. So yeah,
there you go.
very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks again, and take care. Bye bye.